Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to Toastmasters and dear guests. Welcome back to Roseburg Speakers and Storytellers Club. And I want to remind you during the meeting, we suggest you to mute your microphone unless you are going to speak and leave your camera on. And for all word takers, please identify your role in front of your name. And for all speakers, please remember to pin video our timer and be aware of the speaking time allocation. And now I'm going to hand over the control to someone very special in our club. Our president, Miss Ayu.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back again to our meeting. I will be not just the president today, and will also be the Toastmaster of the day. By that, I'm just saying, as a president, meeting start. Next. Oh yeah, the award. That is a good news for Roseburg Speaker and Storytellers. 3 of our members just received an award last night. So I will invite first, I'm going to share my screen, and here it is. Tiger McCandy just got the District Director Spirit Award. Wow! So Tiger, you have 1 minute to have a kind of winning speech. Over to you.
I just hope that I don't forget all the little people that helped me to get this award. That's a joke. That's an old joke from the Oscars. This was a wonderful award. I have enjoyed this last year at District 7. But of all the experiences I've had, I have to tell you guys, the best experience I ever have is Monday morning. Being a president of RSS last year was the best Toastmaster experience I've ever had. It's great. My encouragement to all of you is dive into Toastmasters and get out of it whatever you can, because it's a opportunity. That's all it is. It's a great experience as opportunity. So thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you, even you. Back to our president.
I know I always give a hard time to you, but I want to say that yes, that's what Tiger always said, that among all things, RSS Monday morning is his best time. He lives for that. And thank you to Michelle to bring him here. Next is for Kevin. I will share, and I will invite, because since Kevin is not here, I will invite Michelle on behalf of Kevin and to say something to us.
Yes. Yay! Thank you very much. And I do know that Kevin is doing National Guard duty at the Mercy Hospital. He would definitely want to be here to recognize and thank everyone in the club, in the team, for helping him to achieve this. He is very much aware that this award is based on the performance of the area, and our area, Area 22, is primarily pulled up or raised up by RSS. And of course, also thanks to Tiger and Ayu and Mary and Barbara, who are members also of Friday Night Fun Masters, chartering a new club enabled Kevin to shine as area director. And it's always a team effort. It takes a village. So he was the area director, and all of us helped to raise him up. Back to you, Ayu.
Thank you, Michelle. A team effort. There is a say about that, right? If you want to go far, go alone. But if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Next is, should I say it? The next one? Well, okay, I will share the last one. And this one, thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. I feel honored. And I said to PJs to send this award to Tiger Address. And I want it, for now at least, I want this award to stay in Oregon. It's from District 7, it's from Roseburg. The name is Roseburg in Oregon, right? Roseburg Speaker and Storytellers. This is not about me. This is about Roseburg Speakers and Storytellers, about all of us. So anyone, if you have this proactivity, if you have this idea, innovation, reach out to Michelle. Michelle is our past district governor. She knows everything. If you want to continue to extend whatever you have, your capability, reach out to Mary, Michelle, Tiger. Go, strive. Angela already did. Me and Angela will start serve District 7 more and more, Angela, this term, right? Yes. So let's just, if you want to have something, come on in. Okay, let's get started. The theme today is repetition. Repetition is the mother of learning, the father of action, which makes it the architect of accomplishment. This is the word of Zig Ziglar. This quote reminds me about when I was very young and tried to learn how to ride a bicycle. First, learning the essential skill. What is that, Mom? My mom said, just do like this, right foot the first, and then go and try to do it. Just try to do this. She said. That time I tried to balance and coordinate my hands and legs, and that's it. After that, all it is just about practice and more practice until I become confident and skilled. And what we do here in Toastmasters, every week we gather, just do a game. First timer, and then after a few meetings, do the second timer, right? Second times, I mean, and then do it again, taking roles every week, repetition, until we get confident on certain roles and skills, even can elevate them. This is why we have this thing. Now, our first theme is our grammarian. Michelle, how many times you did this grammarian role? Tell us about that and then introduce your role. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayu. I'm sure that's a rhetorical question, so I won't bother to try and count. Our word of the day, in keeping with the theme of repetition, is the mother of learning. Our word of the day is reiterate, or reiterate is a synonym for repeat, but it just sounds better. So if you want to learn another word to add to your English vocabulary, practice using the word reiterate, which means also repeat. But for example, when you repeat the word repeat and you keep on repeating it, it sounds so boring. But if you say, I reiterated to my kids that they need to clean up, it sounds, oh, you reiterate. Or I reiterated that we should use the word of the day, reiterate. Okay, so try and use the word reiterate, which actually means repeat, or you can say reiteration, which means repetition. Exactly the same, just sounds better. Back to you, Madame Toastmaster.
Reiterate. Can you please type it in the chat, Michelle, so I can say it again and again? Thank you. Wow. a few, like a long time ago, not really long. It's about at the beginning, you know, about February 2020. Every time I open something or say something, my first things in my came out from my mouth is fellow Toastmaster ladies and gentlemen. Until somebody said to me, "Oh, that's are you famous opening?" Now I didn't do it too much. The way I do is I will have something and then do it. I will have a quote or something at the beginning and then I do it again. Still, I do it. Fellow Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, our next role taker, our team is the art counter, Angela. Again, I will ask you the same question as Michelle. How many times have you been an art counter?
Oh, Madam Toastmaster, with RSS or with any other club, I lose count. It doesn't matter. But let me tell you what does matter is the number of times we say "ah." For example, you know, today, yeah, I was thinking, yeah, but and yeah, and today it was a really good day, and I went to town, and the sun was out, and it was raining, but I went on the bus. How annoying is that? That is why we get rid of words like are, but, and excessive use of the word and. For this reason, I've been allocated this amazing role, which I'm absolutely thrilled to be part of, which means I shall be looking for excess use of so, are, and, but. I shall also try to pick up maybe some interesting phrases along the way. With that, I hand it back to the Toastmaster.
Angela, thank you very much for very interesting, and I call it a variation or leveling up your role introduction. Thank you for that. And next is Qnang. Hi, Qnang. You are the timer today. Hi, Julie. How are you today? Over to you, Qnang.
Sorry. Hello, dear fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guest, Julie. I'm just seeing you today. I just saw you at Facebook. I am a timer, and my duty is timing a speakers, an evaluator, and table topics master for the speakers. Sorry, I forgot. I'm not preparing yet. I need Jasmine helping me behind this thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Kunang. I will help you there. And just for the information, the speakers, the speech time is between 5 to 7 minutes. 5 minutes to 7 minutes, the regular speech time. For table topics, it's 1 to 2 minutes. So 1:30 minutes is green, 1 minute 30 seconds is green, and then 1:40 is yellow, I guess, and then 2 is red, right? And then for the general evaluator is 3 minutes, and table topics, again, 3 minutes each. So evaluation is 3 minutes. I will reach out to you, Kunang, again in the chat. Okay.
Okay, everybody, well done. Thank you, Yasmin and Qnang. We go once in a time. Okay, I will try to guide once in a time. Now we are going to start our first session, which is prepare speech, and both of our speaker. Alice, are you ready to become the first speaker? Because Ruku is not okay. So Alice and Mary will be our speaker, both of them 5 to 7 minutes. 5 green, 6 yellow, 7 red. Thank you, Kunang. Well, sometimes we learn and then we forgot because we stop and then we relearn again. This is okay. Like my Mandarin. I learned that maybe 11 times. Learn and then stop, forgot, relearn again, stop again, relearn again. Still now I still cannot see Mandarin. Wow, this is life. Sometimes happen. But the most important one, striving. Once in a time, do it again and again. So our first speaker is Alice. Alice will be speaking on her presentation mastery, level 2 on introduction to Toastmaster mentoring. The time is 5 to 7 minutes. The title is Love Story. Before we listen to Alice, I just want to have one, this is not one word, 2 words about Alice. Alice, for me, you are a straightforward person. I like that. Very honest, right to the point. We don't need to ask you, we don't need to guess whether you are angry, whether you are like feeling not good, but you just said it, which is good. Thank you for being Alice. And thank you for being,
I feel comfortable with you. That's why I say it. I feel very comfortable with you. You are my family.
Oh, listen to that, everybody. We are family. Yes, we are. Okay, are you ready, Alice? Alice, love story, Alice.
Thank you. A mentor is someone who sees more talent and ability within you than you see in yourself and helps bring it out of you. Quote by Bob Proctor. From my education as a life coach, I learned that a mentor is someone who is committed to help his mentee by guiding and advising him until the mentee reaches his goal, which is usually a long-term goal. The relationship between the mentor and the mentee is a long-term relationship. By the other side, a coach is someone who helps his coachee to reach a short-term goal, not by guiding or advising him, but by helping him to discover new things in himself, which will lead him to his goal. The coachee finally reaches his goal by his own. In my life, I haven't been so lucky to have a significant mentor. That's why I won't share with you my experience as a mentee, but I will share with you my experience as a mentor. I work as a singing teacher for 15 years, and many times I take the role of the mentor and I take the role of the coach with my students. One of these times was when I met Helen, a 16 years old girl, very tall. She came to me to learn how to sing. She was afraid to speak or to sing loudly. She was afraid of being heard and of being judged by others. She came to me 3 years ago. I could hardly hear her voice, but for some reason that I cannot explain, I knew that there was something big hidden in her heart and her soul, ready to be expressed. She didn't believe in herself, but I believed in her. We discussed about her goals. Her short-term goal was to be able to sing in front of people without feeling so embarrassed. And her long-term goal was to be an actress, to become an actress. We started working together. It wasn't easy because we had to solve technical problems and also we had to solve her self-confidence problems. Every time she was thinking something bad for herself, she was losing her voice. I remember the first time she sang in front of a little audience, she forgot her words and she began to cry. I will never make it. Can't you see it? Try again. We'll work and we'll try again. We continued working for 2 more years. She improved herself very much, but when it was to sing in front of an audience, She was losing herself. Last summer, I proposed her to sing 2 songs in a student's concert. She accepted. One day before the concert, she came to me and told me that she wasn't ready and that it would be better for her not to sing. I refused. I insisted that she would try and that she would take the risk of failure. I didn't know if she could make it, but I knew that she had to try for it. And the day of the concert came. We did a sound check 2 hours before the concert. It was a disaster. She couldn't breathe and she couldn't finish her phrases. Oh my God, I thought. What am I going to do? What are we going to do now? If that happens when it's her turn to sing, she'll get very disappointed. What can I do to help her? There weren't so many things I could do. We talked and we did a warm-up. She seemed to be calm, but I was very anxious for her. I tried not to show her my anxiety. And the moment came. She stood on the stage and the intro started. Where do I begin to tell the story of how great love can be? The sweet love story that is older than the sea. The simple truth about the love she brings to me. Where do I start? Helen suddenly stood straight and tall in front of the audience. She looked at them in the eyes and she told them her love story for songs and actors and plays she dreamed to play. Her singing was clear, straight to the heart. I was playing the piano for her and I was thinking, she did it. She did it. And then comes the refrain. The high note was always her problem. But now, he fills my heart with very special things, with angel songs, with wild imaginings. He fills my soul with so much love that anywhere I go, I'm never lonely with him around. Who could be lonely? I reach for his hand. It's always there. She was singing like an angel and she was acting at the same time. I started crying and I thought, that's why I became a teacher. She is the reason. Without realizing it, I had become her mentor for the last 3 years. We fought against fear and uncertainty and self-doubt, and we won. We both won. A mentor is someone who sees more talent and ability within you than you see in yourself and helps you bring it out by supporting you, by advising you, by guiding you, by being there for you anytime you need for help, who is committed to win with you, whatever it takes. It is a love story. Thank you.
I forgot to unmute myself because I'm busy clapping. Thank you, Alice. I can see how you, when you talk and then you feel that and you have your tears a little bit in your eyes. Me too. Thank you for this touching story. And somebody said in the chat that practice makes perfect. I have something else. Practice makes progress. It doesn't necessarily have to be perfect at the first time, but progress to perfect. On the note of our previous speaker or earlier speaker, Alice, I do have something about that. Want to share with you just a little bit. Who see us? Not we, not ourselves. We don't know. Sometimes we feel that we are not capable. People see us. So if somebody, especially your mentor, especially in Toastmasters, tell you, hello Excel, would you like to be grammarian? Take a risk. Just say, this is my first time. Please lead me the way. They will. Because they know you can do. Just try. Next speaker, Mary Pearson, will be speaking on Presentation Mastery Level 1 on research and presenting, 5 to 7 minutes. The title is the aha moment. Are you ready to learn something from Mary? The aha moment. Mary Pearson, the aha moment, Mary Pearson. Pearson, yes.
Before you start, I'm trying to use audio visuals, not a forte of mine. Hopefully all of you can see the PowerPoint presentation. And I've also taken on a suggestion from Michelle to put the notes in front of me. I'm not doing so well, but I think I'm ready. Madam Timer. Begin. Aha! That point of clarity, of insight into a sudden understanding of a particular concept is known as the aha moment. Researchers have done studies in how our brain processes pieces of information and how we learn to retain that information. It's funny, but it's actually contrary to our theme for today, which is repetition is the method of learning. We learned when we were young to reiterate over and over again our alphabet, our math facts, to try to commit it to memory. But researchers in Northwestern University found that we actually can retain large pieces of information in a single flash of the eye using a part of the brain that we call the amygdala. You see that little portion of our brain, the amygdala, it sees things through our eyes and then attaches an emotional content to the information. And they found in the research that things that have a pleasurable feeling to the information is retained in the memory. They used a test of pictures that were slightly out of focus, and they put probes into people's brains. They actually could put in the amygdala a sensor that could tell a little flick when someone recognized what the photo was, even when it was slightly out of focus. And they found that putting the out of focus thing in the shape of an object allowed the brain to connect the picture to the object, and it had a pleasurable aha moment when the people recognized the photo. And what really made it an important research is they found that doing it over and over again, different pictures shown over time, they could predict what pictures the people would remember, because there'd be an aha moment in their brain as soon as they connected that object, that picture, through their eyes. What does that mean for us in learning? That we actually can learn without reiterating things over and over again. If we work on making a pleasurable attachment to information we want to learn, we can put it in our brain, in our memory, and it will stay. Funny, at the beginning of our meeting, our president, IU, had an aha moment. She said, aha, I forgot the awards. And you could see it in her eyes and also with her gestures. So as you're going through and in your future learning, you want to look at things that you'd like to learn and maybe try a new method of learning information. They used an MRI in their brains to do those probes. And they followed it up. They followed it up in future ones at the Institute of Science, which was the Weizmann Institute of Science, which is outside of Jerusalem, Israel, that backed the prior research done by these people at Northwestern. And they indeed found that you can learn lots of information in a very short period of time by using the aha moment method of learning. So yes, it still is helpful to try reiterating information we want to learn, but think of all the information that you can retain if you can try to put pleasurable moments together with the information. And that'll also help us in dealing with people that have memory issues or had bad experiences of information that they'd like to get it out of their memory. If they can somehow replace that with pleasurable moments, it would be a groundworking way to deal with patients that have memory issues. So I'll end with, it is great to do repetition as a method of learning, but there are also lots of opportunities to learn with just an aha moment. If you want to learn more about aha moments, there we go. Oh, sorry about that. I don't know why I lost the third. I don't think you're seeing the resources, but that is, I can send it to you. Information if you want to learn more about this particular technique of learning. Next time you're having an aha moment, think about this speech, and I hope it'll increase your memory. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Mary. Aha moment. Okay, now I understand that too. So once when I was learning that bicycle, I probably just keep doing it and then balancing it. And once I can do it, it's become a aha moment, right? That's the aha moment. I said, Mom, I can do it. And that moment will stick here. Okay, gotcha. So everybody, that's the thing. Once we have, it's very hard to write a speech, but once we did it, and the feedback was like, you did good. That will be our aha moment. Moving on. Thank you, Mary, for sharing that. And yes, probably need, why don't you just type or copy paste the resource? I would like to see that. Thank you.
I found out what happened is that the slide, I had printed it off the slide. I just fixed it. Here's the information.
Okay.
I hope that works this time. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's working too well there either. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Well, next is with Mary's speech. It's a wrap for the first session. We move on to the next session, which will be led by Yasmin. Table topic session. Over to you, Yasmin.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you very much indeed. And this is the most exciting session in the sense it provides us opportunity to share our thoughts, to share our stories, and to let the members know each other the way they have never before through our stories, in fact, isn't it? We are not having any of the new members in the sense they are someone new to Toastmasters. So I am sure that we all know how the Toastmaster session runs. We are going to be having a table topic session, sorry, for 2 minutes. Each speaker will have 2 minutes. And just for the information of timer, it's green for 1 minute 30 seconds, yellow for, sorry, excuse me
What?
again. It's
1 minute
green
for
1
green.
minute. It's green for 1 minute. It's yellow for 1 minute 30 seconds, and red for 2 minutes. Okay. And yeah, I see all the nice, enthusiastic, willing faces around. But let me pose the question before we get into who is going to be the first pickup. I will also put the question in the chat just for us all to know. Repetition creates the master. Repetition creates the master. So you'll have to share an experience of something that you mastered through repetition. And I would like to begin with Tiger, who is going to be our general evaluator. Tiger, would you like to share with us something that you mastered through repetition?
Thank you, Miss Table Topics Master. When I was growing up, sports was my life. I played baseball. How many of you guys know about American baseball or softball? I know this is a world audience. Baseball is a wonderful game. They put me out in the outfield and nothing is happening. So I was just picking grass and I was bored and the ball got hit and it went right by me because I wasn't paying attention. So my father, being brilliant, made me the catcher. Now, when you're the catcher in baseball, you have to pay attention to every single pitch because you have to catch every single pitch. And my father took me out in the backyard, and for hour after hour after hour, he had him or the neighbor guy or my brother throw pitches at me. Gave me a nice big catcher's mitt, and I caught ball after ball after ball after ball after ball. Then they had fun. They started throwing balls at my feet and balls over my head. And I had to jump up and I had to block. And I did this hour after hour after hour to the point where I could do this in my sleep, literally. Let me reiterate that. I could do this in my sleep, literally. Let me reiterate that. I could do this in my sleep, literally. And I became a very good catcher. Not a great catcher. If I'd been a great catcher, I would have been a Major League Baseball star and I probably wouldn't be here. That was not my future. To get good at something, you have to practice. Speeches, before you come and do a speech, you should be doing it 4, 5, 6, 7 times in front of the mirror. Let me reiterate that. To be a great speaker, you should do a speech 5, 6, 7 times in front of this mirror. Let me reiterate that. Now back to you, Miss Table Topics Master.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tiger. Let me reiterate that. Thank you very much, Tiger. From the baseball stories of how practice can make us a perfect sportsman, that we can get it even in our sleep, let's try to see if repetition is always good, because maybe sometimes we need to avoid repeating the bad choices. And here is my next question coming to someone I'm going to pick up who is, there's only one person which I am not able to see on the video, and I will check with Federico if he is available to take up the question. Federico, are you with us? Okay, so I see him. Yeah, I see him coming. Hey.
I have some tracking stuff.
Okay, I know you can spare 2 minutes for this one, Federico, because we really want a funny angle to this thing. And here it comes. Our personal and professional success depends on repeating good choices and avoiding repetition of bad choices. Can you share an experience of where you managed to avoid repetition of bad choice?
A bad choice is not necessarily a bad choice. It can matter of the circumstances where you are. Because what can works in the United States might never work in Poland, might never work in India, and might never work in Russia. And that's when the people tell me that if you need to avoid bad choices, it depends on many factors. There are things like respect that is a value, but again, what for you is respect, it can be a subjective topic. Because like in the United States, every time the First Amendment will be the first thing that will people when you're trying to touch them. While in Europe, you don't necessarily have something like that. So respect even is like, you need to touch it like, okay, try to don't avoid controversial topics, because if not, people will look at you strangely. So for me, it's like, when I think about avoiding bad choices, perhaps the first thing is I try to respect the people. I try to avoid topics like my mom always told me, never spoke about politics, religions, and sports, because these three topics are considered like dead in El Salvador. And I had always tricky conversation, especially about the two of them, never about the sports because I'm not a sports fan, but the other two I had a lot of controversial things. And what I learned in Poland is to just avoid those conversations. You can win more friends than anything. But if you speak about any of these three topics, you will have many misunderstandings, and especially when you are a foreigner, because you will see it from a different angle. The same happens when I live in Spain. Many times I listen to all things about Poland, and I completely disagree because I was the person who lived there. So, but for me, what I do is I avoid those things. I do not speak with anyone about them. Back to you, Yasmin.
Thank you, Mr. Twister Master, who twisted the topic and made us understand that we can talk about politics, religion, and sports depending on the place we are. So we have to be aware of the cultural sensitivities always. And here comes the next one. History has a tendency to repeat itself. History has a tendency to repeat itself. Is it for good or for bad? Is it good or is it bad that history repeats itself? And maybe I would like to pick up Angela if she could share what she thinks about it.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Because my headphones weren't working. History repeats itself. I think that sometimes we think it's repeating itself. Is it really repeating itself? Or is it just a principle we didn't learn in the past in another form? One thing I spoke about, not here, but in another club as a keynote speaker, was how viruses are passed between animals and humans. How when we don't respect that, it passes on, it becomes worse throughout the world. Yet I ask you, is history repeating itself by us trying to infect each other? You know, like we're talking about the coronavirus. For me, don't even start that topic with me. That's like a Federico topic. Don't start it because you have no idea where you're going with me. Yet I say to you, are we really repeating history? Way back, you look in the 1919s, 19 or thereabouts, with the Spanish flu. You have to say, how did it start? How did we react? Yet when we say, is history repeating itself? Are we repeating the effect of it? Are we repeating the cause of it? Or are we repeating how we reacted to it? What did we actually learn from history? Is what I ask you. I'm going to go to the Spanish flu. What did we learn? We learned cover up, maybe a bit of hygiene. And you know what? What didn't we learn when in this day and age? Do you know what people didn't learn, especially in England? Hygiene. The rest of the world might have learned hygiene, and maybe they didn't have the problems that the rest of them had. I say to you again, when history repeated or reiterated itself, some people did not learn the lesson of hygiene. Because they didn't learn that lesson, the rest of the principle that it spread so fast, it wasn't really repeated. It was repeated because one of the principles involved was repeated. With that, although it sounds a bit complicated, I do hope you understand. I'm going to pass it back to the Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Angela. I don't think it is complicated. I think it's the simple things which we have complicated in the sense we do not learn and tend to repeat the history. So we take the question from you that what do we learn from our lessons, and is it history repeating, or it's just that we are overlooking what we should have had learned? Thank you for that thought, Angela. And here comes the next. Translate goals into practice. So if you have to translate goal into practice, it has to be practice plus repetition, which will make it success. So if you have to convert goal to success, it has to be practice plus repetition. If you could share one example of how you converted your goal into success through practice. And maybe I would request Michelle if she could share one example how she converted her goal into success through practice and repetition.
I think I just broke the rule and I looked down and Yasmin figured, aha, she's looking down. She doesn't want to be called. Seriously, I was listening to your question and telling myself, yikes, I need to reiterate that for myself, because believe it or not, I have not set goals in quite a while. I have just been cruising, just having fun with my life. However, when I do set goals, yes, it helps to achieve success. I remember about 3 years ago, I set a goal that I would be up before sunrise. I would be outside the house in Oregon, which can get fairly chill, and do a Facebook Live every single day for 77 days. Now, because it's a number, you cannot skip. You really have to reiterate the point that this is your goal and you have to do it. And there were nights that I would be thinking, what am I going to talk about tomorrow? Or there were semi-mornings, like 3 in the morning, I was still up. How am I going to get up in 2 hours before the sun rises and do it? But because there was a goal, somehow my brain was on mission mode and it reiterated the goal, and I would wake up and I would be out. So definitely, yes, you can reiterate that whenever you set a goal, you will most likely achieve it. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for enlightening with your goals of waking up early morning. And this encourages us to go and visit your 77 days live Facebook posts. And we would love to have many more posts like that. So thank you for sharing through simple story as to how and why goals are important, and we should keep goals. Here comes the next one. Repetition is the father of learning. Do you believe in this? And if so, why? I'll just ask Ishel if she's willing to take this. Repetition is the father of learning. Do you believe in this? And if so, why?
Yes, I think that it's the father Um, and well, I am until this day, I am hearing and reading something about our energy that say that we have two energies, positive and negative. Well, not exactly positive and negative. We say that right and left, and say that one is mother and the other is father. And in this case, father give us the discipline. In mother is when give you the feeling. So yes, in the discipline, the reiterating is father, because they give you that discipline that you will do better. We get this goal as for example, in my case, my friend told me, you don't will go to the gym early, and you don't wake up early at 5 or at 6 p.m. to go to the gym. And I try it and try it and try it, and I got that discipline. Sure, that is the father. Go with you. Thank you, Jasmine.
Thank you indeed, Ishal, for bringing such an perspective into this subject of feminine and masculine energy, and relating discipline, repetition with the fatherly attitude of discipline. So in a way, I get your message that we need to be disciplined, as we have to repeat ourselves and engage in learning. So thank you very much. And I have to remind you all that we are also repetitive. We repeat ourselves every Monday, the same theme, same subject, same structure, and with so much more enthusiasm. So this is just the beginning and the step towards the learning. So let's keep repeating ourselves and keep moving towards the learning by setting goals. Thank you, and I give it back to you, Ayu.
Thank you, Yasmin. Very interesting question and very nice answer. Speakers, you are just out of the box future leaders. I just cannot imagine what Federico said, what Michelle said, what Tiger said, and even you, Excel. You are just coming out from somewhere. And it's just, yeah, it's an open, at least for me, it's an eye opener. You know, oh yeah, discipline is more like the masculine one. We need this and we need this. Okay, one question before we go to the evaluation. Is there any end in learning? I ask, is there any end in learning?
Oh,
the end. Yeah, is there any ending in the learning? After one goal finish, that's it. Okay, I finished, right? So I have this question once with me. Sometimes study again. Yeah. Then I bump with a phrase about a long life learner. I get into a point, a realization that as a prodigy, the criteria of a prodigy is asking questions. Just reach out one in a time. Because it's just a process, we will never stop. That is the item that Tiger gave me today is, there is always a pie in the sky. After one, then another one, then another one, and another one. By that, let's get started with the evaluation portion of the meeting. Mr. GE, are you ready? Our GE is still thinking, and he did one reiteration sorry, reiteration with GE. Huh.
Well, that was quite an introduction, wasn't it? Let me reiterate that. That was quite an introduction, wasn't it? Let's move right along into our speech evaluations. Our first speaker was Alice. And I'm glad I'm not evaluating this speech. That way I got to listen and cry and even laugh. I actually even laugh. Let's go to our evaluator. This is going to be Ishelle. Ishelle,
Yes,
the stage is all yours.
thank you. Thank you, Tiger. Yes, Alice, your speech was so amazing, so wonderful. And I think that if you keep this for a contest, maybe you can win. You make really, really so fantastic. The message was so great. Oh, and I like it also how you started a little like a little because I saw that your seat was in another place, and I tried, oh, Alice, we are here, but then you started to win the your feeling, the topic, and you go, wow, so fantastic. All you together, the message, the feeling, the power, and that make your your own speech, and was so fantastic. Yeah, yes, it was so great. The only thing that I can say that you can improve, you enhance is that message that you want seeing in other place. Maybe put in front of your computer, and that when you are reading, it's like you are seeing us, and that is the only a little point that doesn't matter the whole message, the whole feeling that you let us. Fantastic, wonderful.
Well done, Ishelle. An emotional evaluation for an emotional speech. Very well done. Now we move on to Melva. And once again, I'm very glad I don't have to evaluate this speech. Melva, I am very interested to see how you're going to evaluate this speech. Melba, I'm very interested to see how you're going to evaluate this speech. It's all yours. Take it away.
Thanks, Tiger. Give her an applause to Mary. Yay! You nailed it. Oh my God. I really like your speech. That was so informative. Aha moment. And I believe you prepare well your speech, even you miss the last your PowerPoint, but I appreciate it. And I was really comfortable with your speech. And then I like your gesture when you point your brain and use your expression and look up your camera and showing your your emotion. I do really like your gesture. And then I like your volume, your intonation, and you know exactly what time you use high tone and low tone. That's really good. And my recommendation for you is you need set your camera before you delivering your speech, because I just saw your head, not till your chest like this. Hopefully you can step back one or two step. I think that's make perfect. And then I saw you look the screen, right? You look just the screen, you see the participant, not look at the camera. That's different. So my recommendation for you, wow, just look over to camera, focus on the point, this camera. If you can see what's that, like out, focus on it, and that's it. You nail it. Congratulations. Back to you, GE.
Thank you so much, Melva. Excellent evaluation. I appreciate that both our evaluators gave very precise and useful recommendation to our speakers. Let us move on. Angela, our special guest, who is going to give us a grammarian and a counter report.
I'm a grammarian.
Oh, you're just the odd counter. Okay, good. Well, with you, an odd counter report will be a grammarian report.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. I normally, in my role, I normally go for the words so, and also but. So we weren't too bad on. A couple by Ayu and Mary. A couple by Mary, Melva, Ishel. We love the word and. I'm going to give you some alternatives just now. The Queen of Ands. I'll give you a clue. It's a woman, a lady. It's the prize for the Ands goes to Ayu, followed by Tiger. You were the queens. Just remember, don't keep saying and, because I keep going, mark it down, mark it down, mark it down. Alice, you had a couple. Otherwise, we weren't all that bad. The word but, I didn't actually pick up that many. However, I reiterate the word and. I shall give you my idea of alternatives. Other words you could use. For example, you could say, I went to town and it rained. I went to town after that, it rained. I went to town also, it rained. They're just little ideas. Instead of saying and the whole time, we can use the word and, yet in Toastmasters, we try to avoid too much repetition, too much reiteration of the word and. Other ideas. Another point, it rained when I went to town. In addition to me going to town, it rained. You could say, may I add, let me add, or then. Just examples. Instead of the word but. By tradition, when we use the word but, it actually makes the first half of the sentence not make sense. You could say, I wanted to go to town, but it rained. What did you just tell me? Not an awful lot of what you did. You told me what you were not going, what you didn't do, why you did it. How about you could say, I wanted to go to town, however, it rained. You told me about your desire. You've taken away that terrible word, but. Other ideas, despite or for this reason. I wanted to go to town. It rained. For this reason, I did not go. I have just eliminated the word but. 3 ideas instead of the use of the word so. What about therefore? I was going to do it, or you could say so today. You could say, why on earth are you saying the word so? You don't need it. Other ideas for instead of using the word so could be therefore, to conclude, or however. My final point, instead of using ahs or ums, I suggest close your mouth, take a breath, have a pause, start a new sentence. I say take a breath could be the answer instead of using the words ah and With this, I pass it back to our general evaluator.
I'm speechless. And I'm speechless because I'm afraid I'm going to say and again. Michelle, can you follow that up? That is almost an impossible odd counter report to follow up. That was amazing. It's all yours.
Yes, and I was sitting here thinking, I am so grateful that she did that. She did that report before I did the grammarian report, because now she can catch my hands and so this was an incredible meeting. Note that when we started, I was still half asleep, but nonetheless, the words were so beautiful that I caught them. Alice, your entire speech was a grammarian's dream. If only I could write down, take notes fast enough. I tried some of them when you said something big in her heart was ready to be expressed. Whoa. And you said losing herself. It sounded like a song. You said, that's why I became a teacher. Whoa, that hit me. And you said, what was that? Fight against uncertainty, self-doubt. And there was a third word that I couldn't catch. But your entire speech was poetry in music. It was just beautiful. I agree with Excel saying that that would be a contest speech. Wonderful. The word of the day. Whoa. People were on steroids with the word of the day. I think, Mary, I think you had about 5, maybe 6. I don't know, but you definitely had multiple uses of the word in various ways, reiteration, reiterated, or sometimes you said repeated. Yasmin, I think you had about 4 or 5. Tiger, just for his table topics, I think had 3, and then he had his name there reiterated, and then he continued. I think Tiger, you were the champion with the word, but there were many others, like Angela used it a lot. And I think, gosh, I got beat. I think I only used it 2 or 3 times. You were amazing with the word of the day. Certain other words that were usage, history repeating itself. In fact, Yasmin, all your table topics questions were beautifully crafted. They were all great use of the English language. Now, just because we are constantly trying to learn more, as you said, we are lifelong learners, I want to add just a couple of suggestions. Let's use words more, let's be more specific with the use of words. For example, when we say just 2 words, and then we say several, I lose track of the number, let's avoid that. Or when we say literally, but it's not really literally, because literally means literally. So let's avoid words that actually don't mean what we're saying. Other than that, we use the English language. I believe we use the English language very well. And see, I did a wee there, but Angela's already had her report. So back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. Those are probably 2 of the most thorough odd counter grammarian reports I've ever heard. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. But our timer, Kanang, thank you for putting the times in the chat. Would you like to add anything to the timer's report? Kanang, the microphone is all yours.
Thank you, President Tiger, and hello. Hey, I'm giving my timing report for the speaker 1, Alice, 7 minutes and 44 seconds, and for the second speaker, Mary, 6 minutes and 39 seconds, and for the table topic masters, table topic master 1, Mr. President Tiger, 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Table topic 2, Federico, 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Table topic 3, Angela, 2 minutes and 26 seconds. Table topic 4, Michelle, 1 minute and 45 seconds. And the last one, Table topic 5. Excel, 2 minutes and 4 seconds. For our evaluator, Excel, evaluate for Excel, 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Melva, 1 minute and 57 seconds. Thank you. Back to you, President Tiger.
Thank you so much, Kanang. And again, thank you for putting the times in the chat as we went. Due to time, we're going to have to move right on. I have a general evaluation. Pie in the sky. I love that. This was a great meeting. It wasn't perfect, but we will continue to do this. As my baseball coach once told me, we're going to keep doing this until we get it right. Back to you, Miss Tabletop, to you, Miss Toastmaster of the Day / President / IU / President / Toastmaster of the Day.
Bye, Michelle. Safe drive. And at the end, I want to say reiteration is not just the mother of learning. It is the grandmother of learning. Huh? Well, then, let's end and adjourn our meeting now. And meeting adjourned.